Live updates.
Good afternoon, Daryl.
Ooh, I should live stream from my classes,
Ooh,
my
take
meta classes.
Inception
I know, right?
times two, something.
Oh, hey, good afternoon, Daryl. All right, so we're live streaming. We're going to talk about some new stuff, but right now, Eric McCabe, you are in Alaska.
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 That's
What the
right.
heck are you? What the heck are you doing in Alaska?
I made a wrong turn
Oh,
on
you
the way to work.
at Albuquerque?
Yeah, exactly. Up here for the sixth time running this event, the
Yeah.
Meyer Lake Classic with Stevo Story and the Meyer Lake crew. We're up here in uh, Hatcher's Pass, Wasilla area, which is about an hour-ish north of Anchorage. It is a course that I designed back in 2018. Two tees, two pins, one of those Emacs specialties that I love to do. And we usually come up a little bit early and make sure the course is ready because it's Alaska and you can't just get out and mow the course. You got to get out there and weed whack and prepare everything and make sure the course looks good. And I will say, the course is looking better than it ever has, than I have ever seen the course. They sounds like spring showed up about a month early this
Oh,
year,
nice.
so that's good for a place like Alaska where it gets very cold and stays very cold. So
Yeah.
it's very green. Um, Everything's manicured. Fairways look fantastic, and we're just excited to start having people roll into town.
Nice. Well, we'll get into it a little bit more, but just in case you just hopped onto the live feed, this is live updates with Bobby and Eric, and we're going to talk about some upcoming releases and anything else we got going on here at Dynamic Discs. If you have questions at all, I'm also live on Instagram, so if you happen to see me look over on YouTube, I'm going to take questions from Instagram as well. So anyway, if you have questions, post them in the comments of Instagram and on YouTube as well. We'll try to get to them. But real quick, let's get back to the course out there. So you designed it how many years ago?
2018 was when I came out and designed
2018.
it. Yep.
What was the most challenging part of designing the course out there on that land in Alaska?
The just the forest alone
Yeah.
was just so thick. Um, it was untouched property. It's like 60 acres in the woods of untouched Alaskan wilderness for years and years. So it was very thick, and getting your bearings while you're out in the woods, it can be a challenge. I think that was a big part of it. But having just a good crew here, a good staff here to help me out and push through and get the fairways cut and all of that. So, and then obviously, you got like 3 months out of the year that you can get equipment into the woods and be able to actually physically work on the course. That's another little challenge. So it took a little longer to get the course finalized and in its final layout, we'll say. But we're there, and as I mentioned, it's looking fantastic.
No, but we've talked about it before on other podcasts, but we talk about how sometimes courses change over time just because of nature happens. Has that happened a lot over there at that course?
We haven't had to move anything yet, like tee pads or baskets or anything like that. That is something that we'll end up doing eventually. Obviously, you get straight line winds out here in the winter, and you're going to lose a bunch of trees. And yeah, courses are just always ever evolving. So I'm constantly looking for tweaks we can do in Emporia on Jones and Pan. New pins if it's a new tee, whatever that looks like. If we lose a tree or want to plant some new ones, or it's just Mother Nature can be pretty rude sometimes. So yeah, courses are always evolving. We haven't had to change anything here yet, but that is something that we look at every year if it's something that we need to start doing. But we're pretty happy with how the layout is currently.
Yeah. Very cool. Another question I had was as far as like how did it get started in far as going out to Alaska? Just a real quick like the elevator pitch of like how did that even happen for you to get to
Yeah.
Alaska?
Pretty cool story, actually. Mike is the owner of the property, and at the time, Steve was here as well. Just a couple buddies from growing up in California had this property up here, and they were doing a fishing trip down in Homer, Alaska, and they were on the beach having some adult beverages, drinking, having a good time, and they wanted to play catch with the frisbee. So they went into a store and bought an EMAC Truth, of all things, and they
Yeah.
figured out, wow, this is a golf disc. This isn't
Right.
frisbee. And they were playing catch with it, and then they're like, well, disc golf. Let's put a disc golf course. We could do that at Meyer Lake. And they Googled my name because it was an EMAC Truth, had my name on it, and they found out I was a course designer, reached out to me. I came up, designed the course, and it's all been history since.
That's awesome. And you got the event starting, what day did you say, this weekend?
The tournament starts Saturday. It's 2 rounds, 1 round a day tee times. That's something that we've kind of always done at this event. We're looking at potentially changing it a little bit in the future for next year, maybe doing 3 rounds over 2 days, a shotgun start first day, tee time second day, something like that. But we have, starting today, this evening, we have leagues happening today and tomorrow, and then we have a Flex Start C tier on Friday, and then the tournament actually starts on Saturday.
So for the players, what are they having to practice? Are they practicing their short game, their long game? What are they practicing as far as playing out of that course?
Out here, hitting lines is key. If you're hitting your fairways, if you're hitting your lines with your fairway drivers, your mids, you're gonna do just fine out here. And obviously, you know, just like any event, if your putts are falling, you're gonna score well out here. But the biggest takeaway from this course is make sure you're hitting your lines.
Nice. Well, I remember being out there the first year, the first event they had out there, and I know that the scenery is amazing. That was such an awesome time. So
it only gets better. So
Yeah.
it never gets old. One of those things, you know, never gets old being here.
all right, so I had to turn off the Instagram because the live feed wasn't working through Riverside, but we got just YouTube. So, but like I said before, if you guys have any questions, we're going to hop on to talk about some of the upcoming releases we have going on and kind of talk about that. But if you have any questions at all, put it in the chat for YouTube. Nicholas wants to know, how are you guys doing? I'm doing good.
Fantastic. It is. Let me check.
Yeah, what time is it there?
Well, time-wise, it's 10:40, but it's
Wow.
55 degrees outside.
Oh my gosh.
I'm doing pretty good.
It's got to feel nice. It is, what
it
is it
does.
here? It is 88 and muggy here. Yeah.
Yeah.
So not
it's
fun.
gorgeous.
All right, well, I'm going to grab the first disc we're going to talk about. And I got with us some super, oh, I lost me. Here we go.
Lost
Come
you?
back. Come back. There we go.
There he is.
Some swirly judges. And this is, we call this Judgment Day. So it has the little gavel on there. I'm going to call it a hammer. The little
Hammer.
gavel, little gavel on there. And of course, we got
Thor's
3.
hammer, actually, but
It is what?
for copyright purposes, we're calling it a No, I'm kidding. It's
Oh,
a
yeah.
gavel.
It's the little gavel on the bottom stamp there. So just something fun, unique. So if you putt with a judge, or if you want to try out the judge, these definitely ones to try out.
Classic plastic as well.
Classic plastic, they
Stiffer
feel-
plastic is what they are.
Yeah, they feel very nice, but I love that swirl.
The swirl looks so good. And, you know, when we decided to put the stamp on, and what we decided we were going to do with the stamp was, let's put it on the bottom so we can, you know, not take away from the beautiful swirls on top, you know. So that was kind of the thought process behind the bottom stamp on that disc.
Nice. We got a question before we move on. Let's see. I was looking for an EMAC Truth plastic to cycle mids and a couple shows back, and maybe the Supreme Classic would be good for that. I would love to have a run of those for the summer.
Oh, Classic Supreme. I don't know that we'll see any Classic Supreme moving forward. There's been some talks of it, potentially doing some more with it, or, you know, we're kind of trying to figure out what we want to do with the plastics and the Supreme lineup, and especially that baseline plastic stuff. But I do know we have some blend and some classic or primes coming in, so we do have that more baseline feel coming in at some point relatively soon.
Nice. So talk about the judge a little bit, though. This is like one of the OG molds that we have out.
It is the OG mold. Like it was one of 4, the first 4 we came out with, you know, and it's been tried and true. Honestly, it's been, man, just such a staple in our lineup, I'd say.
Yeah, and then I can't remember what year it was. It got All Things Disc Golf Putter of the Year or Disc of the Year or something. Disc of the
I want
Year.
to say that, I mean, it had to be, what, 2012 or 13? 2013, I think, because that was what they released. They released in November of 2012.
Yeah.
That's when they released. So it might have been 2012. It was one of those 2 years. But yeah, I did win Disc of the Year. The Judge is just a staple in the lineup, like I said. It's got a big bead on the bottom of it. It's got good stability. For me, when I was throwing the Judge, it was more of a throwing disc than a putting putter. So that's the beautiful thing about the Judge. You can use it for either or both. I feel like in our lineup, you're either a Judge guy or a Warden guy, and that's kind of has kind of held the strength of time for some time now is those two putters in our lineup. But yeah, great disc, feels good. They're nice and grippy. That plastic's stiff, so right now in Emporia, when it's 88 degrees and high humidities, that disc is going to feel pretty good in the hand.
Yeah. So what kind of throw are you getting when you use it as a throwing putter?
It's pretty angle sensitive on what line you can throw it on. For me, when I'm throwing a Judge, I like to throw it around 80% power with a slight hyzer to get the flip up to flat, and it does fly just relatively straight for the majority of the flight, and then have that predictable fade towards the end when it starts to slow down.
Yeah.
But you can also get it to hold big turnover shots as well.
Now, Steve-O's out there with you in Alaska. What's he up to? What's he doing out there?
He is our TD. He's been here every single year. He's come up with me every single year to help be the tournament director for the event. He just finished, he does, for all of his tournaments now, he does video chats instead of sending emails, which I absolutely love, because as a player, I'd rather sit there and listen to somebody talk to me about, a 5-10 minute video about the event and what to expect, as opposed to just having to read it all, right? It's kind of nice to have that personal touch to it. So yeah, Steve-O's out here running the event. Today we are going to go out and shim some of the baskets that kind of maybe moved a little bit over the winter, mark the OBs, and do inventory on all the new cool discs that we got in this past week.
Nice. Yeah, being out there in Alaska in a lot of colder weather, what does that do to the grounds?
It just constantly moves. The ground
Yeah.
is constantly moving. Obviously, it's pretty cold for most of the year. It's like well below zero most of the winters, at least, and you got all that wind, and it's just different elements. But I will say, what I will say is the baskets, they've been in the ground for 6+ years, and they all are holding true and look fantastic. No signs of rust, anything like that. So if those veterans can hold up to those winter elements up here, they can hold up just about anywhere, I'd say.
Nice. We have a question. They said, is there an avenue for schools to get some supplies? My kid's school currently has an 18-hole course on the property, but still has a few homemade baskets. Even some discs would help if possible. I think does Jackie do more of our community type outreach type stuff?
She does more of the clinics and those kind of things. I think it would be Derek would still be the person to reach out to for sponsorship type things, and that's kind of seems like what it looks or appears to be what you're looking for is more discs. I don't know if you're looking for baskets or what you're looking for, but Derek would probably be a great resource for something like that.
Yeah, if you go to our website and then on services, go to dynamicdisc.com, services, there's a place that says tournament sponsorship. Even though it's not really a tournament, that would probably a good, fill out the application, tell them kind of what your situation is, and that'll get to the right person that can
And if it's
figure
not
out.
him, he'll forward it to somebody.
Yeah,
Who will.
so I'm not saying that we can do something, but that's definitely a place to start. Aaron says, what's up, boys? Love y'all. What's up, Aaron? We love you. All right, if you're just tuning in, make sure you post your questions here in the YouTube comments. We're just going over some new releases. I'm here in Emporia enjoying the 88-degree weather, and Eric is in Alaska bathing in his 55-degree. I'm sure it's horrible. It sounds horrible. It's terrible.
Awful bad.
All right, so the next one that we're going to talk about is this Flamingo triple stamped. I forgot what these are. Oh, Lucid Jury. And I know Orbit, yes. I know some of you, and because I'm the one that looks at a lot of the comments and messages on social media, and a lot of you have been wanting the Lucid Jury. So this is so nice. And that the Orbit looks so nice. Oh, I didn't even see it. I've never looked at it like this, but you can see literally right through it. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Show that the blue one.
The blue one.
The blue rim. Yeah, that's my favorite one. That white with blue with the pink and black and all that on there. That thing just looks so good. Yeah, that's
So it's like a digital flamingo. And then this one's
is.
kind of, if you like more of that dark color. Hello,
pink,
darkness,
that really,
my
that
old
pink
friend.
really pops.
Yeah, that pink pops up there.
And the jury is a
Oh, look, you can see your
very-
reflection.
Oh,
That's how
hey.
nice that lucid is.
The jury is a very, very, very overstable putter. Some people do. I know Melton is putting with it, using it as his actual putter.
Oh,
But
okay.
I think most people are utilizing this disc for approaches, overstable, windy days, those kind of things. But yeah, very overstable. It kind of feels like a judge in the hand a little bit because it does have that bigger bead on it.
Yeah.
Maybe a touch deeper than a judge,
You
but
can see it.
but it is very, very overstable, especially in this Lucid Orbit plastic. This premium plastic brings out the stability just a little bit more.
Yeah, I'm kind of putting my finger on there just so you can see there is just that bead is on there. And yeah. So you said more stable than a judge, you'd say?
Much more stable than a judge, yeah. More
Oh, okay.
overstable than a judge, for sure.
Yeah, overstable than a judge. Well, they feel fantastic, and of course that color. Someone said cotton candy
Yeah.
color scheme, and that's a great way to describe it. Especially the way that gradient kind of flows from the different colors. Looks really nice in that orbit.
Yep.
Now, why is it? A lot of times,
Why?
just why, dude? Why? No.
Why?
Why do people like when they find a putter that they like, and we've got the classic soft blend, and then even those more base plastics. Why do people want to have them in the more premium plastic? What typically do you get from a putter when it comes in a premium plastic?
Durability. 100% durability. When you think about a baseline putter, plastic, and you're constantly throwing it against things, trees, rocks, baskets, whatever the case may be, you're going to get chips and it's going to get more beat in, and it's going to fly different each time. Now, there's something to be said about a super beat putter as well, right? Like that Heiser Flip Dream putter that you know exactly what it's going to do. But the premium putters tend to hold their durability a little bit longer, so the longevity of that disc is going to fly the way it's supposed to fly through majority of its life.
We got a question again on a more selfish level. When you boys come out to Northern California for a little media team battle? Answer Man duo versus disc golf show guys. Nice. We might have to. I don't know when the next time we're going to get to go to Cal.
I love me some Northern California. Let's do it.
We did have another guy come in. Ken, will DD do any more events at stadiums or racetracks like you've done in the past? That's a great question.
I know we've kicked the idea around about doing some more stadium events, and I think there's been some talks about potentially doing one. I don't want to get into any details just because I don't know what the cans and can'ts do on it, but yes, I do know. I can say we are 100% doing a stadium experience at Junior Worlds in Emporia at Welch Stadium on Tuesday, July 15th. And all the proceeds for that event will go to help support the Emporia State disc golf team. So that's pretty cool.
Nice.
It's not quite, like Arrowhead Stadium or AT&T or nothing like that, but it's still pretty cool to get a throw on a football field.
Yeah. If you're watching, tell us which stadium would you want us to go to if we went out to a football or any stadium. I guess it doesn't have to be football. Any stadium. Let us know in the comments where you'd like us to look into to do that. We got a comment. I have a elusive suspect that's been in the bag since 2016 and it's still stable, but also holds on an amazing Anheuser when you want it to. Nice. I have a Fusion suspect that's a Dymax. I love that thing. That thing's
Suspects are
amazing.
good.
Let's see. No more questions. I have a OG Judge made in Europe.
Yeah, they're all made in Europe.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to. Is there something different that I don't know? So anyway,
I don't
Aaron.
think so. No, they're all
Okay.
made in Europe. Sweden.
Anytime McCabe, not as in we'll crush you anytime. More so, we would love to have you anytime. Nice. All right, so the next thing we're going to talk about this one. I mean, they're all nice,
They're all
but
sweet, but this
they're all
one's pretty
sweet. This one's new, and because the flamingo, the Judge one's nice, very cool. This one's sweet, but I've had this at my desk for a while, so I've had a chance to kind of soak it in. This one I saw yesterday, just yesterday, and I was like, "Are you sneaking kidding me?"
Yeah.
This is the Freedom triple stamp. Look at that, guys. Look at that
Fusion
stamp.
Orbit Freedoms. Yeah,
Those are so money. Those are so nice. I love the little fireworks, and that triple stamp just makes it look really nice. And we have it in just more,
colors.
yeah, a couple
Yeah,
different
I
colors like that.
one. I just like the black on the Freedom. It really
Yeah.
pops with the black on the Orbit. So yeah, that's sick.
And then the blue.
Oh yeah.
These are so pretty,
Yeah.
so pretty. So reason we're showing you these guys is these come out tomorrow. Something I had to get used to because we used to have a release time at 11 a.m. Now it's 8 a.m. So
8
these will
a.m.
be available at dynamicdisc.com. And I can't remember which ones, or maybe it's all of them. They're all what we like to call direct to consumer, meaning if you want these, you get them at dynamicdisc.com.
The judges are at, well, actually just the Freedom are D2C only. The
Okay,
other two
just the Freedom.
should be at local retailers
Okay.
as well tomorrow.
Well, there you go. But yeah, pick these up. So the Freedom, I used to throw the Freedom. I really do like the Freedom. I need to probably pick it back up and see what it flies like. So here's the thing. I know,
Very understable and
Yeah.
very fast.
and we used to do this before, but now I really want to do that. I want to take it to a course and just yell Freedom when I throw it.
With some face paint on.
I wish I was good at a drone and I could follow it and then kind of slow it down.
We could work
Remember
with
that drone shot we paid a few years ago where they had the D's Dimaxed on there?
Yeah.
That'd be cool to do it with something like this.
Maybe we should try it. We got a field out back. We have a drone.
Okay.
Fly it, and I'll try to throw at it.
Do you know how many times that would take? Like a million times. See you soon, Eric. Can you keep the rain away this weekend?
Yeah.
Mark Hill asked that you
Totally.
keep the rain.
We'll get rid of that rain promptly.
Right. And then he said, damn, as a Canadian, I appreciate the stamp. Love playing with my friends in the U.S. Nice. I love it.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a beautiful stamp for sure. How far out do you guys plan when setting up for a new mold or stamp release? That's a great question. How far do you usually plan that stuff?
You know, I think we have right now currently plans through August. And then, you know, obviously with us ordering discs from Sweden, it takes time to get here. So sometimes, like these Freedoms, for instance, we did, full disclosure, we had to scramble on them, you know, because for whatever reason, maybe they didn't quite get through customs in time and whatnot, so we had to overnight a box over, or express a box, not necessarily overnight, but one of each color so we can get them stamped up. So, you know, sometimes we do some scrambling, but usually we like to set up about 2 to 3 months in advance.
Nice. Aaron says, maybe I'm crazy, but I thought my OG Judge was produced somewhere else. No, yeah, you're not crazy. Well, maybe you are crazy, Aaron. I haven't met you, but I doubt you're crazy. But yeah, all of our stuff is produced over in Sweden at the Latitude 64 factory. So good stuff there. All right, well, let's see. Anything else we need to discuss? That's all the discs that are coming out. So you guys be ready tomorrow, 8 a.m. at dynamicdisc.com. A couple of these, the Jury and the Judge, can be bought at other stores if you want. But if you want that Freedom, you got to come to us and pick that up. So what is on the agenda today out there in Alaska, Eric?
Today we are inventorying the shirts and the discs that we got in this past week. We got some pretty sweet ones. I shared one on my story. One of them is a Lucid Orbit Heist, which is pretty sick. We got some Renegade, Sheriffs, EMAC Truths, Escapes, all with the Moose stamp on it. They look so good. Look fantastic. So we're going to do some inventory on those. We are going to paint a couple OB lines that need painted, make sure drop zones are in the ground, and flag a couple areas, and then get around to disc golfing. That's the plan.
That's a good plan. That's
Throw
a good
some
plan to
frisbees
have.
today. Yeah.
Nice. Are you still, I'm remembering they had that lake with that building out by the lake. That's still the same setup, right? With that lake right there?
Yep.
Oh, gosh.
Yep. exactly the same.
I'd love to just sit out there. That'd be fantastic.
All day, yeah.
All
And
day.
you know, in the past, mosquitoes have been absolutely just miserable here.
Mm.
Um, Mike has put these, I don't know what they are, some type of bait, I guess, in the woods. And you put them in the ground, so you don't have to spray anything, but they'll like, they're attracted to it and they'll come to it and then they'll spread it to other mosquitoes and it helps, kill off the population or at least slow it down a little bit. And Steve-O and I were in the woods all day yesterday and we barely noticed them.
Oh
It
wow,
used to
that's
be
good.
if you were standing still, you were swatting.
Yeah.
You were totally swatting. But yesterday it was pretty good. So I'm hopefully knock on some wood, but hopefully that's kind of like what it looks like for the future and at least for this event this weekend.
Gotcha. Well, let's do a real quick recap before we get off here. We have the judge, the bottom stamp, Judgment Day judge with the little gavel stamp on the bottom. Beautiful if you like. I know a lot of people like that. They like that clean look.
Blank. Yep.
Yeah, so this is perfect for you, but have a little bit of stamp there.
Something,
Yeah, a little something. Comes in the gray, orange, and this blue, and this really sweet swirl. And then we have the really sweet triple stamp flamingo on there. And that blue and white looks really nice. If you're more into the darker colors, that looks so sweet. That looks like, I can't even think of the name of it, that oriental chrome stuff I remember we lived in Okinawa, Japan, and it would be like wall art.
Okay.
And it's kind of that oriental kind of chrome, brass, whatever look, but that has a cool look to it. And then this really sweet green and blue.
The green one looks good too. Yeah.
Yeah. And then last but not least, our 4th of July special. The Freedom triple stamp Freedom disc. Freedom on freedom on freedom on freedom.
That's right.
Boom. Black and white, blue and white, and red.
They look good.
They look so good. They look so good. So yeah, tomorrow, 8 a.m., dynamicdiscs.com. You can pick these up, enjoy some new discs, have them shipped to you, and you order by tomorrow, probably through the weekend, you'd have them in time for your 4th of July weekend rounds if you're going to go out and play some disc golf on 4th of July. All right, here more questions. May I please see the judge again? I was too late to miss it. Yes.
Yes.
Real quick, Ken. There's the judge in the orange, the blue. Looks so nice. Honest question. Here we go. Does Trilogy Plastic difference in some way? Opto versus Lucid versus VIP. Are those the same but just different names? That you are absolutely correct. Those are the. No, you
That's
are
what
correct.
It at least used to be. When
Yeah.
we first were like big in Trilogy and all of that. That's 100% what it was back then. I think there's a few different blend types that they're looking at doing now that are kind of almost exclusive to each brand.
Right.
So while yes and no at the same time.
Yeah, I remember we were in a meeting and there was like, people don't understand, and sometimes you just can't get into the intricacies of it, but just one thing might have one additive. It's not literally just plastic is plastic is plastic. I mean, that's why you have softer plastic, you have hard plastic, because it's not the same thing. But they were saying that just a little bit different in the additives can make a big difference in the plastic. And of course, we all know as disc golfers that just about any difference in the plastic makes a difference in how it flies and how it feels. Nick wants to know, how much more do you think we can do with plastic? Just when I feel nothing can be done, something new comes out. That is cool. That's why we have those geniuses over at the factory that they experiment. I would imagine there's stuff that we don't even hear about it, know about, see about, because they're just experimenting with different things. And I'm sure they go through a lot of testing process until it eventually becomes, classic blend, or eventually becomes whatever. But what was it? What's the saying? There was actually a saying where a guy said, he was quoted, he was some kind of inventor. He said, everything under the sun has been invented. Nothing more can be invented. And that was back in like the 1800s. And so it's like anything, people can think of just about anything. Joel wants to thank Eric for recommending a Vandal as a roller disc. I'm now waiting for the Renegade to see which one will be best for me.
Nice. We do have Renegades coming soon.
Perfect. And just to prove you wrong, the EMAC disc promo show, not one of the discs were an EMAC disc.
That's true.
Bleh. So
Not a
in
one.
your face, These are all great discs. All right, I have a meeting I got to get to, so and I'm sure you got a lot to get done out at the course to get ready for the event. So I appreciate you coming on here, Eric, and thank you guys for joining us for the live update. We're going to do this on a regular basis, so you guys are up to date on upcoming releases and everything else we got going on. So yeah, next time we'll see you guys probably on a Disc Golf Answer Man show. I can't remember if you'll be back in town next week.
I will not be in town next week, but we could do it this way if we wanted.
Yeah, we can do it this way. So, all right, guys, thanks so much. We appreciate you.
Bye.